you don't want to shock your audience with something new and be like, hey, what's up? You cannot do that, because they're going to, first of all, they probably don't, they're not going to think that you're you. They're not going to think that the business is the business, because it's going to be like, wait, who the heck is this? You got to queue up. And this actually goes to the next element, a strategy. So there needs to be a strategy and a timeline for your rebrand. The strategy and the timeline is an element of your rebrand. For me, it's a 3-month process. So I use all of June to identify the people that are going to make this happen, my vendors. And I really got the consultations that I needed. And this actually, for real, it was longer. This rebrand was sparked when I did the Brain Picker podcast. The links are in the show notes. When they told me that I needed to elevate, that's when the light bulb went off. That was in March. Hey you, welcome to Shades of Content, a show that teaches entrepreneurs how to effectively use content to market their business and stay content while doing it. I'm your host, Patrice, a wife, a mom of 3, and a 15-year public relations and marketing professional who decided to open a brick and mortar content studio 4 years ago. And I honestly haven't looked back since. Join me as I share my experiences and the experiences of other entrepreneurs who, like me, are navigating this maze of owning a business, running a family, and trying to stay sane and healthy while doing it. I'll tell you, it's an amazingly challenging journey, but I honestly wouldn't have it any other way. See you soon. Hey there. Are you a content mompreneur, or better yet, are you a content mompreneur? What does that mean? That means you're a mom who owns a business and is on a journey to seek contentment in your professional and personal life. If that fits you, because that is definitely me, then you need to get your Content Mompreneur checklist. Tap the link in the show notes to see exactly where you are in your journey of contentment. It's something that I am just really starting to hone in on and focus on, because the bottom line is we have to be able to find that level of peaceful satisfaction, peaceful happiness through all of our life changes. And I'm on a journey to find that for myself, and I actually want to help you find it too. So tap the link in the show notes to take your Content Mompreneur checklist, and then shoot me an email or a DM to let me know where you stand in all of that. Here's the rest of the episode. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Shades of Content, the show. Okay, let me pause. My daughter is here because she's on summer break and the camp doesn't start until next week. So she's here. So if you hear a little voice, that's my boo-boo. You want to say hi? Right here. Say it in this mic.
How you? My name is Potter.
Yes.
And you are mommy.
I am mommy. So if y'all... So if you guys hear her, it's her, and that's my boo, and she's here, and she's going to make her presence known because she's my daughter, okay? So welcome back to Shades of Content, the show that teaches content marketing tips to Black millennial mompreneurs, but it also, I hope you use this show to help you find your place of contentment. What does contentment mean? Contentment means peaceful satisfaction, and as I go along this journey of whatever it is I'm figuring out. You know, as I was on my way to the studio today, I kind of cried because of something that happened this morning. And what I know is life. And sometimes I be like feeling that I'm always complaining, or I'm always crying, or I'm always not understanding what's going on. But I don't think that's the case. I think we all have these periods of uncertainty. For me, it's like every 3 weeks or so, I kind of get this feeling. I don't know if that's normal or not. I don't know. But anyway, I think what stands out for me is that I'm vocalizing it to people. Like, I feel like the majority of people, they have these feelings and they just sit with them and they don't talk about it. They don't share. They're not able to build a community of people who might understand how they feel. And I'm blessed that I can do that. So at the end of the day, regardless of what I'm going through, the fact that I can turn the mic on and record and share with you how it feels, that is a beautiful thing. And I don't take that for granted, and I don't take it lightly. So welcome to Shades of Content. I went on a little tangent there, but it's okay. If you tuned in last week, you heard or watched me say that I am rebranding my business, and I gave you some tips that you can use for rebranding your own business, or some questions you can ask. And so as I was recording last week, you saw that I was like, oh, I'm going to make this a series. So here we are. We're in episode 2, part 2 of the rebrand your business series. I always forget what the official name is, but the show notes will tell you everything. And this isn't going to be a long episode. We're going to keep it short and sweet. Y'all know when I'm giving these tips like this, I want to just give you what you need and, keep it moving. Again, that's my daughter standing right in front of the camera. So you probably didn't see me at that point. So if you remember, I am doing a rebrand your business series. I decided on the spot last week that I was going to make it a series. So we're here in part 2 of said series, how to rebrand your business. If you're like me, well, let me take a step back. The reason why I'm deciding to focus on rebranding or revamping your business is because I really just want to speak to where I am here. If you're like me, you've been in business for a few years, right? You've already done the initial branding. And so now it's time to refresh everything. And that's where I am, right? So you've been here before. You've worked with vendors before. You might have did it all yourself. And you're in a place where you need a refresh. And because I'm going through this, like I said last episode myself, I felt like it was important to share the process, right? I've been in business for 4.5 years. I did everything myself. I don't say that bragging. Like some people, I did my website, I did my logo, I did this, I did that. I had to do what I had to do. There was no budget and I just had to make it happen, right? It was a short, quick timeline. Had to make it happen. Now I'm being a lot more strategic, a lot more thoughtful about what this rebrand looks like. And again, I want to take you on the process. I'm not doing this because I want like something shiny and new. It's not about, oh, I want a new logo. I want new. It is not about that at all. It's all about where I want my business to go. I need to make sure the business shows that, right? You can say all you want that you want to make $20K a month, $30K a month, $40K a month. But if your business does not have the messaging, does not have the visuals, does not have the content to match that caliber client, then you're likely not going to attract that caliber client and you're not going to reach those goals. So I am challenging myself to rethink everything that I've been thinking for the last 4.5 years, which has been quite a process. So much so that I'm like questioning if I even want to do this shit. Because when you step into new things, it really be making you feel like, what the fuck am I doing? Why the fuck am I doing this? But as I know this, God never gives you something that is not for you. So we're going to push ahead through all the uncertainty. And I'm going to say it again. I'm sharing the process with you so that you can learn and it can help you as you go along your revamp journey, or help you. However, if you did not tune in to episode 78, make sure you go back and listen to it, watch it. The links are in the show notes because it is really important, I think, for you to hear that episode as well. So again, last week, part 1 of this brand revamp series, I gave you 8 key questions to ask your brand revamp vendors. Now, I legit asked all of those questions to all 9 of my vendors. And let me break that number down to you. Why did I have 9 vendors? Okay, so if you listen to last week's episode, I'm going to give you a real quick recap. When you are working with design vendors, graphic designers, copywriters, marketing strategists, email people, videographers, photographers, all the things. This is a big project and you're not quite sure where to go. Like, let's say you don't have the people in the bag already. I didn't. I wanted new talent, new fresh eyes. I wanted to work with people that weren't familiar with my business. I always say, and this isn't even with business, this is just period. When you need someone to do work for you, always get 3 estimates. If you need somebody to paint your house, get 3 estimates. You need somebody to, I don't know. Even when you go to the doctor, like maybe one doctor might say you have this, but then you go to another doctor and they say, no, you can actually work it this way. So I always feel like getting 3 opinions is just always the best way to go. Also because it's an odd number. So you'll never be in a deadlock where it's still, you don't know what to do, right? There's always going to be an uneven thing. You go with the majority. So in this instance for this rebrand, I felt like, or I decided to go with I got 3 proposals from 3 different types of vendors, which is where I had 9 companies, right? So I had 3 proposals from a branding company. I had 3 proposals from a copywriting company. And I had 3 branding companies give me proposals. I had 3 copywriting companies give me proposals. And I had 3 marketing agencies give me proposals. And so through that, I reviewed 9 different proposals. And I decided which one was the best for my business. Again, you guys, my daughter is here. So if I kind of sail off in the distance, that's why. I gave you guys the 8 questions to ask all of these vendors. I myself asked all of these vendors these questions. And I feel like some of them might have got the email like, no, this chick ain't sending me all these questions. But you have to do your due diligence as the vendee. Right? I don't know if that's as the person that needs the work, as the person paying the money. You got to do your due diligence to make sure you have all of your questions answered. So if you have not listened to episode 78, click the link in the show notes and do that ASAP. All right. So this episode, we're going to talk about the elements of a rebrand. I've done so many rebrands. I've done so many branding projects for different clients myself, my corporate organizations that I've worked with in the past. Yes, your girl has had 9-to-5s before. And so there are some elements of a rebrand that you should consider. I don't think I'm going to go into what they all mean and all of that stuff. Y'all can Google that. Like I said, this is going to be a short episode. We got a busy shoot day. Okay. So I'm going to list the things that you should list the different elements that make up a rebrand. And if you aren't able to catch it as you're listening or as you're watching, you can actually go to our website. The link is in the show notes and there's a transcript so that you can actually see everything for yourself. All right. All right, guys. So here are the elements of a rebrand. These are the things that you probably should be considering refreshing, revamping, redoing. Maybe you don't do all of them. Everybody's business is different. Everybody knows what they need. But these are just the elements that you got to be considering when you are thinking about rebranding. And I'll say also, a brand is not a logo, right? A brand is not a picture. A brand is not font or colors. A brand, and there's a ton of definitions, but this is my definition. A brand is how people feel when they hear your company's name. A brand is what goes through people's minds when they see your logo, right? So the things that I'm telling you are just elements of your brand. All of these elements need to work cohesively to give your audience, to give your customer, to give your stakeholder the feeling that you want them to feel. So when people think about CAMPspace after our rebrand is over, I want them to feel like we are the national leader in creating content experiences for 6-7 figure creators, entrepreneurs, marketing, whatever, right? I don't want the feel to be, oh, we can pop in and get these pictures off real quick. That's not the feeling no more. That was the feeling, I think, before, because that's how I branded it. But we're redoing everything because we got to elevate. And I've mentioned all of that before, I think in episode 75. Okay, so elements of a rebrand, your brand mission and your brand values. These are the heart of everything. Yes, I am revamping my mission. I drafted values a while ago, but we're going to revisit all of that when I start working with my copywriter. Your logo. Ding, 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 ding. People always pay a lot of attention to logos, and logos are very important. I've done many logos for myself and for clients. Logos are important, and logos should make sense. Logos should be thoughtful. Logos should be clean. They should be timeless. They should be able to be worked, not reworked as in change, but you should be able to take that logo and put it in different places and it fits well and it makes sense. We are probably going to redo Camp's logo because I did it myself. I literally just typed it, picked a font in Canva, and then I had logo nerds make it like high quality or whatever. So we're redoing that. You have to consider a tagline, a new tagline. Our tagline when we first opened was like convene, co-work, celebrate, because I wanted people to meet here. This is when we were co-work space. I wanted people to meet here. I wanted them to have events here. I wanted them to co-work here. We literally do none of that now. So when I decided to pivot to be a content studio, I just cropped out that tagline, right? And that was all I did. But now if I want it to be seen as this national, maybe global brand that has locations everywhere, franchise locations everywhere that people come to for these elevated experiences, then it needs to look different. It can't just be, in my opinion, a word that's typed. Okay. Your brand colors. And these are brand colors. I don't think people give enough attention to, well, designers do, but ordinary people like you and I who don't study design and typography and all those things, we don't think about how important colors are. Take some time to look at a color wheel, and that'll show you like what colors match with other colors. It'll tell you what colors evoke certain emotions. Take some time to do that. Also, every color has a hex code. So I don't know if you guys, and I've mentioned this on episodes before, if you guys have ever seen a color swatch, it'll be a hashtag and then like a series of 6 letters and numbers like ABC 1, 2, 3. That is the distinct color. So if you then take that number and place it anywhere that has colors, that exact color will pull up. Light blue ain't really a color. You understand what I'm saying? Every color, every shade in the rainbow has its own unique number that you, as the brand owner, you have to have that. You got to have that, and you got to know that. And if you're working with a designer, they should be telling you those things. Your brand voice, this part, the messaging, the voice, this is what I'm most excited about my brand. I hired a copywriter for the first time. As a marketing communications professional, I've written so many things. I've written so much copy for so much, but I probably mentioned this in other episodes. In order for me to take this business to the next level, I cannot be the one writing anymore, because I am still in this 4.5 year of the past. So I have to have fresh eyes on it. And there's some really dope writers out here. If you guys are on any email lead magnets or anything like that, where you're getting emails from your favorite coach or content creator, and it's like they're talking directly to you, that's a copywriter. That person has spent a good 3 to 4 weeks fine-tuning who the audience is, and then they start talking directly to that audience member. I've never done that before for my business, and I cannot wait. I am signing the contract today. I'm not going to mention her name, but I'm faithful that you guys will see the difference and feel me talking directly to us, not me, the company talking directly to you guys. Your brand guidelines, this is so big. And this is probably a question that I should have had you ask in episode 78. But if you are doing a rebrand, revamp, your designer should be submitting to you a packet that essentially has all the guidelines for how to incorporate and use your new branding. Okay. And maybe you already have brand guidelines, but if you're doing a revamp, they should change to match the new and improved business that you're owning. You also want to include or consider elements like photography and videography. I own a beautiful space. I know a ton of photographers, so I'm not really tripping off of that part. It's nothing for me to schedule a photo shoot to get new shots. But for you, if you have a product-based business, if you're a service provider, if you're revamping, you need to have new, fresh photos. You need to have new, fresh videography. Of course, you want to update your website. You cannot have a new logo, and you cannot have a new mission, and you cannot have all the things without updating your website. And I do believe that website should include a coming soon page, because you want to, and we'll get into this a little further, but you don't want to shock your audience with something new and be like, hey, what's up? You cannot do that, because they're going to, first of all, they probably don't, they're not going to think that you're you. They're not going to think that the business is the business, because it's going to be like, wait, who the heck is this? You got to queue up. And this actually goes to the next element, a strategy. So there needs to be a strategy and a timeline for your rebrand. The strategy and the timeline is an element of your rebrand. For me, it's a 3-month process. So I use all of June to identify the people that are going to make this happen, my vendors. And I really got the consultations that I needed. And this actually, for real, it was longer. This rebrand was sparked when I did the Brain Picker podcast. The links are in the show notes. When they told me that I needed to elevate, that's when the light bulb went off. That was in March. We are now on July. We're in July. You guys will hear this on July 8th. It's July 1st. And April, May, June. That's 4 months already in the can. So so we're here. I know who I'm working with. I know what the vision is. I know what the goals are. So now as we go into July, I have all the people assembled to make it happen. They're going to get to work. And then in August, we are fine tuning. We are beta testing. That beta test is when you are starting to sneak peek it to your audience members. Like, hey guys, we're revamping. Hey guys, check out these 3 new logos. Which ones do you like? Feel free to have them along the process too. No, you don't have to make them. You don't have to do anything they tell you to do. You could have already decided where you want to go with the rebrand, but you're kind of using that, using those prompts to get them engaged, to get them excited. Maybe you create some contest around the new brand. But for me, I'm using August to fine tune and beta test and get customer feedback. And then we're launching in September. So it's a quarter long process for me. For you, it might be longer. It might be shorter. I'm sure for companies like Coca-Cola and I don't know, Dry Bar, it might be a year-long process, right? Because you have national, international arms, you have franchisees. And I'm also happy I'm doing this now because I don't know if I want to do a rebrand when we have franchises. Like when I welcome franchises into this building, into what I'm building or what we're building together, I want to give them the brand guide. I want all of this stuff to be clean and done. And I don't want to give them what I created 4.5 years ago because that wasn't official. So you want to make sure, again, some elements of your rebrand can include brand testing. Definitely do a beta launch. A beta launch is just your soft launch. Is another word for soft launch. But it's before you go all out. As you're thinking about what your new website looks like, I would 100% have a coming soon, like something that says like new vibes forthcoming or... we about to be better or something like that. I don't know. You're going to have your copywriter figure out the best voice so that you can use it for your website coming soon page. But use that new coming soon page as a lead magnet, right? Have people enter their email address and then they're now added to your email queue. So now they're going to start getting weekly updates on your rebrand. Maybe you'll do some special discounts. And then when a rebrand comes, not only are they seeing it on social media, it's in their inbox. Maybe they're also getting a text message. Get your people excited. And as I mentioned, all the different things you can do, that is your strategy. That is the strategy for rebranding your business. Is an element of the rebrand, right? So all of these things have to be considered, have to be figured out. Of course, you want to do a rollout. Maybe that rollout is a dinner, right? Maybe you bringing in your top customers, the customers that have spent the most money with you for a private dinner, thanking them for getting you to the point. And you can go ahead and steal that one because I probably will be doing it. I don't have enough events here, partially because we had a pandemic, but I don't be feeling like doing it. But I'm probably going to hire an event planner so we can have like a private dinner for our number one customers. Maybe obviously you should do an email campaign. I'm just trying to brainstorm some other things you can do. Maybe you can do a press run around it. You can reach out to podcasts like Shades of Content. You can reach out to media outlets to have them cover the new vision for your business. So make it a thing. Make it a thing if it makes sense to make it a thing. That's what I plan to do. And that is big for me because I'm always cool with not making things a thing. I'd be wanting my things to be going to the Miami or going to the tropics or something like that. But we're going to make this a thing because it's like I said, it's all about elevating. So this episode was 22 minutes or so. That's it. A short episode, quick and informative. I hope it helps you. And if it did, let me know. If you are going along this rebrand journey, I would love for you to shoot me a DM or hit me up on Instagram, shoot me an email. I love this stuff. Like rebranding gets me like real excited. And I always like to talk about it. And if you have like really distinct questions or you would like me to work with you to create a rebrand strategy for your business, no, I'm not going to do it for you, but I can definitely help you create the strategy and put you in contact with the people that can do it. A1, tap the link in the show notes to book a strategy session with me and we can really talk through it. And I can just give you all the nuggets, all the knowledge, all the contacts that I have, all the expertise, because I do have expertise. Okay. Don't forget to rate and review this show. I'm so happy that you're here. We're recording this on my camera. Okay. But we will be back with some of the fancy episodes. I realize that I'm trying to save those fancy episodes for when I have the interviews with other people. But when we getting these quick joints in, I got the camera. I got the best audio engineer in the world. Shout out to Ty. But yeah, tap in, rate and review. Also, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. You know, I'm putting the vlogs on there, and all links are in the show notes. See you back here for part 3 very soon. Bye. All right, now, y'all, don't forget to connect with Shades of Content on Instagram at Shades of Content, and with me, Patrice Camo, at Patrice Camo. And also be sure to rate this show, leave a review, and subscribe, because that's actually the only way that we're going to grow. I'll see you next week.